Right, you lovely people, have you ever dreamt of owning a classic car? Have you ever wanted to have something like this, Mazda RX-7, Anglia 105E, and add it to your collection? There's loads of ways to buy it. I particularly like the auction format. Auctions are fun, they're a great day out, they're very exciting, sometimes even heart racing, but if you get it wrong, it can be quite troublesome. The positives massively outweigh the negatives, and particularly if you know what you're doing, they're a great place to potentially pick up a bargain and certainly have a lot of fun. So follow me as I take you through buying a classic car at a car auction. Well, first of all, why an auction at all? Well, I prefer auctions for lots of reasons. Number one, you're kind of cutting out the middleman. So the way it works is a vendor will put a vehicle into an auction, you get to bid pretty much whatever you want to, and obviously if it's enough and the vendor's happy, you're going to buy it. Now, you're not going through a retailer, you're not going through a trader, you're buying in all the cases straight from the vendor. Now, the auction house will take a commission, and we'll come to that later, but there's often bargains to be had. The other thing I like about auctions is you don't have to make a decision there and then. If you're clever, auctions have preview days, and you can go and have a look. You can look online, you can look in person, so take your time. And unlike a car on a driveway, where if you like it, you've got to make a decision and give the guy the money there and then, you've got days to go away, ring your insurance company, measure your garage, check with the other half. Auctions give you time to breathe. Now, on sale day, it's a different story, but we'll come to that in a minute. So what are the good points? There's a real adrenaline rush. Even if you've only ever bought at an online auction before, you'll understand the excitement when it gets near to the end of the auction, to the figure that you've bid and you're the highest bidder, you'll know how good that feels. The slight downsides are no test drives, no warranties of any sort, although if you do buy a car and it's not right, the auction house will want to know, and the good quality auction houses will always see you right. So what are the do's and don'ts of buying a classic car at auction? Do research like your life depends on it. Read every book you can, read every road test, every magazine article, every buyer's guide you can. That'll give you some idea of the kind of things you should be looking out for. Then look at prices, look at all the classified ads, look at other auction sites. Research, research, research. You can't have too much information, either what to look for, what the common faults are, and more importantly, the kind of typical prices you're going to expect to pay. Another do is set yourself a hard budget and stick to it as much as you can. That said, if you're after something very rare and unique, don't lose it for 100 or 200 or 300 quid, because you might never get the chance again. The other thing to bear in mind at any auction house, whether it's online or live, like this one here at Barron's, is there's always a commission on top. Somewhere between 10 and 15% normally. So if you're buying a car at 20 grand with a 15% commission, there's another 3 grand to pay on top. So always factor that in when you're doing your budget. Do inspect the car in person, and even better if you can bring a friend, an expert from the club, a qualified mechanic. It's even worth considering if it's a car that's quite a lot of money, pay a qualified mechanic a day rate or an hourly rate to come and have a look at the car for you. Most quality auction houses will have preview days, 2 or 3 before the sale. Some of them even have ramps, like we do here at Barron's, and that means you can have a proper look. Take your time. There's no rush. You've got days, hours to have a look. Poke prod, make sure you know what you're buying before the big day. Now, online auctions are a little bit tricky, so really lean into the photographs, make sure you've looked at all of them, zoomed them on a big screen and really gone into the detail. Also, again, quality auction houses will always happily do this for you. They'll do a FaceTime, they'll walk you around the car, they'll show you everything you need to know. So if you can't be there in person, take even more care. The next do understand the auction process. Now, some auction houses let you bid online, some are old-fashioned telephone bids, some allow you to bid in person. Some auction houses, like us, we let you do all three, but the most important thing is understand how the process works, how you get to the prices, how you get to the reserve prices, what a provisional bid is, and don't worry, I'll explain all of these in a minute. If you're not sure, best thing you can do is watch some of them online as just a viewer, as a passenger if you like, just to see what happens, get yourself to feel comfortable in the process, and then when you're ready to buy, you'll know what you're doing. Do plan your exit strategy. If you win the car or the bike that you've come for, how are you going to get it home? How are you going to pay for it? Unfortunately, I haven't got the money available just now, does not cut it at the end of the day. You're going to have to pay for that car very quickly. Most auction houses will want you to settle there and then. Some may allow you until the day or the week after, but not many. Always check first what the rules are. The other thing is, some auction houses, particularly those that are moving from site to site, will want the vehicle gone very quickly. So if it doesn't drive, you're going to need to arrange transportation. So think of all this before you go. Work out how much money you've got to spend, how quickly you can pay, how you get in the car or bike away. It's all very important. It's a big do. And the final do is really important. Do take the time to go to the auction house if you can and pull the physical file. Now, every auction house will allow you to have a look at the physical paperwork. They will have normally HPI'd it. That's in there, heritage certificates, manuals, books, invoices, receipts. Take your time. It's all about the research. The more you know, the happier you'll feel, the more comfortable when you actually pay that money. So take your time, go through the files.
Let's break down some of these terms then. Commission bid. This is when you set a maximum bid in advance and the auction house will bid for you up to that limit. Now that's great if you can't attend. Next, what's the difference between estimate versus a guide price? Now an estimate is the auctioneer's predicted range, like say 10 to £15,000. That's based on the market and the condition. The guide price is usually a single figure, say £12,000. This will guide buyers. It's not a promise, it's just a nudge. And normally with an estimate, if you're towards the bottom figure, chances are the car's going to sell. Now the reserve price is the minimum the seller will accept. If the bids don't hit it, the car doesn't sell. And that ties into provisional bids. If the car misses its reserve, you might be able to negotiate with the seller later via the auction house. And finally, buying before or after the sale. Some cars are listed well before the auction. You can grab those early via the catalogue or online if you don't want to fight it out on the day. And at the end of the auction, unsold lots still could be available for sale. So haggle with the auction house with the vendor, and that's your quick guide. Right, back to the action.
Right, now let's start with the don'ts. Here's a big don't. Don't get caught in a bidding war. You've already established your budget in the dues. Don't do what some people do and just escalate up and up and up and up until the price gets silly. I remember there's a very beautiful RS500 that recently went for auction, made over £500,000. Now, is that car worth £500,000? It's probably one of the best ones out there, but I would say perhaps more like 300,000. What got that extra money was two very well-off, very discerning individuals who both decided they really wanted it and neither wanted to lose. And if you get caught in that situation, if you're the third person, don't let that run away with you and you pay too much. Just set your budget, stick to it. Another don't is don't skip the fine print. Now you've got to remember, when an auction gives a description for the car, they're very much relying on the honesty and the knowledge of the vendor. Every auction house will do its own due diligence, do the very best they can, but the information that they're giving you is the information that the vendor gave them. So look at everything, check everything against the history and satisfy yourself. So if it says extensive service history, find out what does that mean. Does that mean it's got 20 service invoices, or does it mean it's got 24 dealer stamps? Drill into the fine detail. And the big one is, if it's not there, assume it doesn't exist. That's always my main caveat. Don't ignore hidden costs. That £4,000 for your dream Opel Kadett might not be that cheap by the time you factored in your fees, your transport getting it home, the repairs that you can see on the side. Try and add up all of the bills you think you're going to face and factor that into your top limit and work backwards from that as your maximum bid. It's very easy in the heat of emotion, when you've got your dream car there and the hammer's about to go down, to let that run away with you. Just take your time and do all the sums before you bid. Another very important don't is don't bid blind online. Don't rely on grainy photographs, poor descriptions, missing information. If you can't see it on the auction site you're on, either ask for more detail, go and see the car in person, or ask the vendor to send you more pictures. If you haven't got all the information, you shouldn't be bidding. And don't forget, your big power, your superpower, is the ability to walk away. If it doesn't feel right, if it feels too expensive, if the car feels or sounds scary, walk away. You'll live to fight another day. There's plenty of fish in this sea. I promise you, there's thousands, tens of thousands of classics for you to buy. So if it doesn't feel right, if your gut tells you it's wrong, walk away, sit this one out. There'll always be another one. Right, so before we go, let me just wrap up with a few pro top tips to get you buying like a seasoned auction veteran. And I'd say start small. Something like this is absolutely brilliant. If you've never bought a classic car at auction before, you've never bought a classic before, something like this Moggy Minor, absolutely brilliant. Maybe 2 or 3 grand would buy you a car like this. So the fees are going to be minimal. If you make a mistake, it's going to be very easy and cheap to put right. And if you don't like the car after 6 months, everybody's going to want to buy it for you. So buy a simple, cheap, inexpensive car, small fees, small bills, small risk, lots of fun, nothing to go wrong. That's a great place to start. Another great tip is watch the crowd. You'll have seasoned veterans, you'll have motor traders in there, you'll have people who've bought loads of cars at auction before. Some people, depending on how the bidding goes, will even try and psych you out, will steam in with bids quickly, leave you hanging. Don't worry about them. If you've never bought at auction before, you've got your budget, you've got your plan, you've got your knowledge. Stick to that, ignore the other guys, just watch the auctioneer. It's not going to be a problem. Another tip, if you're buying online or with what's called a commission bid, Set an odd number. So instead of putting 10 grand or 10,250, put 10,283. Reason being, people tend to bid in even increments. If you've done yours at a weird number, sometimes that extra 20 quid or 30 quid is the one that wins it. Another great tip is check the provenance. If a car has had a notable history, a competition past, or a celebrity owner, it might add a little bit to value. And sometimes by going through the paperwork, you can find that out. And even the most accomplished of auctioneers or vendors might have missed it. Take this car, for instance, owned by Mr. R. Weasley.
Okay.
And the most important thing is just to enjoy the ride, whether you're physically in the room, whether you're with a glass of wine watching it online, and whether you win, lose or draw, it's a great process. Buying classic cars is meant to be fun. So if you're not having fun, you're probably looking at the wrong car or you're probably paying too much. Like I said, use your superpower, walk away. There's always another one, always another sale, always another car, always another vendor. So there you go, my ultimate guide for you buying a classic car at auction. Enjoy it, there's fun. If I've missed anything, any tips that you think we should add to that, please leave it in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please do like and subscribe. There's a button for that. And if you'd like to see any other kind of videos, let me know that too. But thank you for watching. I hope to see you at one of our auctions and just have fun in the classic car scene. I'll see you soon.